This is a documentation of what transpired on the afternoon of May 1st of 2014. Robert J. Moore called the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Indiana at whatever time it was, 13:20 Central Standard Time, phone number 574-236-8287. The attendant informed that RJM informed the attendant, phone attendant, that he had documents that he was going to post it on URLs, and he just wanted to provide the URLs so that he could call back later and discuss the matter with Mr. Kenneth Hayes after Mr. Hayes would have access to URLs already. She claimed that that she couldn't take the URLs. She didn't provide any explanation as to why she couldn't just take those URLs and convey those to Mr. Hayes. And then RGM said, she explained that RGM had been instructed to mail the documents. RGM explained, Robert J. Moore, that there was a time sensitivity issue, and so that RGM asked her why she couldn't just take the URLs, convey those to Mr. Hayes so that she could get up to speed faster, sooner rather than later, regarding the matter. When RGM called them back, she didn't answer that question. RGM then called Pam Mosier of the U.S. Marshal Service at Northern Indiana, 574-236-8291. She refused to take the URLs. One of the URLs was the undfgj PHONEQUESDEM 5114, which is RGM's script for the conversations with the U.S. Attorney and the U.S. Marshal for 5114. The second URL that RGM was trying to, both are thirstforjustice.tripod.com. The second one was, or the first one actually, was the chronicling in an inchoate proposed verified statement of what a documentation of what transpired yesterday on the 30th of April of 2014, and that URL after the domain name is /UNDFGJRECACT43014.html. So at any rate, RGM then RGM asked the question if there was any objection to RGM making a recording of the conversation in which RGM and Ms. Mosier were presently involved. She notified RGM notified her that he had follow-up questions, and notified her that RGM's complained that RGM was incurring unjustified injury from her activity and from the activity, and she said that she told RGM yesterday on the 30th to contact the U.S. Attorney's Office. RGM told her that he just got off the phone with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then she accused RGM of something or other, not liking whatever she said yesterday, which is simply a deflection away from the true issues, and then she hung up the phone. RGM then called the U.S. Attorney's Office again, trying to resolve the problem and mitigate damages, and the second attendant answered the phone, then refused to connect RGM. RGM asked to simply be connected to Mr. Hayes. She refused to connect RGM to Mr. Hayes. She refused to take the URL. She provided no explanation justifying the refusal to take the URLs. Oh, the first attendant that RGM spoke to in the U.S. Attorney's Office said that, quote unquote, we just can't access any website off of the equipment in the government. The government can't just access any website. So the second conversation, RGM explained, well, what if Mr. Hayes wants to access the material for purpose of expediting the presentation of evidence to the federal grand jury and assessing that evidence on his own after he's off work? Why can't you just take the URL? That question was never answered. She then claimed that quote-unquote, RGM was harassing that office and that they were going to call the U.S. Marshal. I explained that I just got off the phone with the U.S. Marshal. RGM then called the Office of Inspector General, phone number at 202-514-3435. We got connected to a receptionist, Investigator 35. RGM then proposed that RGM be permitted to record the conveyance, whatever conversations would transpire, and the investigator said that was prohibited. RGM asked him to identify the source of law according to which it was allegedly prohibited. He then connected RGM to some other phone extension, who then connected RGM to Pamela McCabe. RGM left a voicemail message to Pamela McCabe's voicemail chronicling all of this. This is the present condition of this matter at 14:08 p.m. Central Standard Time on 5114.